The Secrets of Stargate is brought to you by the StarQuest Production Network and is made possible by our many generous patrons. If you'd like to support the podcast, please visit sqpn.com/give.
You're listening to The Secrets of Stargate, episode 34.
Lieutenant West, Jackson has identified the seventh symbol.
All right, here we go. We are about to try to make a connection.
All we gotta do is bust out of here, commandeer the ship, and fly on home.
Indeed. You say that a lot.
I know that this could be dangerous. But this is our job, right? It's what we signed on to do.
It was never about going home. It's about getting us to where we're going.
Hi, I'm Jack Berrezzini, and you're listening to The Secrets of Stargate, where we talk about the hidden meanings and deeper layers found in the Stargate movies, TV series, and more. And joining me today are Father Cory Stika. Hi, Father.
Howdy, Jack.
And Lisa Jones. Hey, Lisa.
Hey, Jack.
And Victor Lambs. Hi, Victor.
Hi, Jack.
All right, today on Secrets of Stargate, we're going to be discussing the 14th episode of Season 2, Touchstone. Do you want to give us a quick rundown of this episode, Victor?
Sure. So in this episode, SG-1 visits Krippendorf's tribe on the planet Madrona to study their weather control device, the eponymous Touchstone, only to learn that it has been stolen by humans from Earth. Without the Touchstone, the Madronans will succumb to climate change, though not as quickly as I initially would have thought, just given how utterly pathetic and horrible they are. SG-1 learns that a rogue team of NID agents have been using the second Stargate, which was recovered from the Antarctic. And if you want more on that, see our Secrets of Stargate episode 18, Solid Dudes. To plunder technological treasures from alien planets. That's what the NID agents are doing with the second Stargate. So SG-1 visits Area 51 and runs into a frenemy of Jack's, and everyone discovers that the second Stargate has been replaced with a plastic replica, which looks just like the real thing for some reason. George calls in a few markers, and the team is able to locate the real second Stargate. But the NID team gets away, at least for another season or so, but not before leaving behind the weather control device, which SG-1 is able to return to Madrona. The second Stargate is safely tucked away again, and we find ourselves at the end of this episode, 1 week closer to two all-time favorite classic episodes in a row. And so tune in next week and the week after that for our take on those two good episodes.
Nice. Yeah. What were your thoughts on this episode, Father?
See, I like this one. I mean, it's a little bit goofy because, of course, you got the the fake Stargate that just happens to look exactly like the prop of the real Stargate. Gee, I wonder how that happens. But then you got Maybourne. Of course, Maybourne brings his own interesting twists into the whole deal, especially when he's sitting there going, this wasn't supposed to happen this way. What happened? Where'd the Stargate go?
Yeah.
But then he still tries to do, I've got top men. You could hear him, top men are studying it.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Lisa?
I like this one. It's a little bit different. You don't just, it starts with go off world, meet the aliens, yada, yada. And then it turns into a little cat and mouse politics thing, which is kind of fun. And it follows back up with what happened to that second gate. And then from there, it opens it up even wider as we find out in upcoming seasons with the whole NID. What does it mean to have two working gates on Earth? Because, it isn't going to stay closed forever. So, I mean, it's not like way up there, but it was pretty decent episode.
Yeah. What about you, Victor?
Yeah, I like aspects of this, but it's completely forgettable, I think. I mean, it does, you get the image of the NID agents escaping into the Stargate and you're like, ooh, who are those guys? But then, like I said, you really have to wait a season for any follow-up on that. But it's a really good Maybourne episode. He has a couple really good reactions in this, which we'll probably talk about. One being the one Father Cory mentioned where, I'm still not sure if he was really surprised that the gate was missing. It sure looked like it, but you could take it either way, but it was a solid Maybourne episode. So I like it for that, but not for much else.
Yeah. I like that the focus of the action on the episode doesn't have anything to do with the aliens off world. That's almost more just like a MacGuffin. They have to find the thing. And the real like threat in the episode is the NID and the inner machinations of the U.S. government, which gives it kind of like a X-Files, like thriller kind of vibe, which is fun. And I like that they're bringing in that angle.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
I don't like the Madronans. The Madronans are awful. I have to just come right out. I'm not.
They're pretty. They're pretty stereotypical. You got the blind leader with his daughter who, it's the people from Earth. They're here, uncle, or whatever he was.
Yeah. No, they're very cookie cutter.
Yeah. And it doesn't help that he looks exactly like Richard Dreyfuss in the movie Krippendorf's Tribe, which came out the same year. And if you've never heard of that movie, there's a very good reason. But in it, Richard Dreyfuss plays an anthropologist who has to basically, he's been tasked to find this pygmy tribe and he can't find them. So he dresses his family up as this lost tribe and films his family, his very white family doing things and submits that as... Yeah, and so that's kind of what I thought watching.
Politically correct movie.
You're saying you don't need to see it.
No, and it's kind of like watching, these people, very uniformly, pale people dressed up in tribal clothes was a little much, I think, for me. But it reminded me a lot of the movie Krippendorf's Tribe.
They're very 90s swimsuit fashion too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was kind of, I don't know if it was supposed to be an homage to like those 1950s movies where they go to like the lost civilization in the center of the earth or something. And it's, being the 1950s in Hollywood, everybody looks, from central casting but are wearing, tribal clothes. And so I don't know if that was intentional, then I guess that's kind of cool. But otherwise they're horrible.
I get the feeling that the whole Madronan plot line was just here's where the object that we're trying to find came from, and we put it back. And that was literally it. I mean, there was no real, they've got like this perfect world, literally, where they can have the weather exactly perfect as they want it, always. And so let's just, start off the story with them, end the story with them, and move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I noticed though that they're racing against the clock to find this MacGuffin, as you mentioned, and there is no talk of evacuating the Madronans to another planet. And I'm guessing they like not even Tupelo from the people of the light or whatever would take them. He's always had his hands out to anybody who'll come in. But I think he's like, oh, the Madronans knew. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
I just went in.
Oh, did she look familiar though? Because it was bothering me the whole episode rewatching it.
She did, yeah.
She is the hybrid from Battlestar Galactica. The one that was submerged on the water. That
oh, really?
Like, randomly.
Yeah, that controls the ship. Yeah.
Controls the ship. Yeah.
Oh, and the character's name is Lamour. Yeah, so there you go. That has to be an intentional, like either like Dorothy Lamour or just like, a very 1950s, like yeah.
Or it could be like the Lemurians. Like the lost continent people or whatever.
Ah, okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, so okay. I like it a little bit better now that I know that was intentionally
Tiffany Knight.
cheesy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was I want to know what is so wrong with this planet that taking away their weather control device for a few hours causes everything to just fall apart. Like, I feel like it'd be better just to move them to a new planet.
Well, they did say that it was a terraformed planet by some race.
Yeah.
I don't know. If they ever even mention what race it was? I don't think they ever figure that out. But it was a terraformed planet.
Yeah, probably a race that just wanted them off their planet.
Yeah,
it's like here, have this ice planet, and we'll give you a nice little statue.
I'm sure it'd be something like a Mars. Something along that level where it wouldn't take much to terraform if you had the technology, but at the same time. If you didn't have that technology to sustain it, then it would go into snowstorm.
All it takes is like a executive desk toy is what that thing looks like.
Yeah.
Paperwork.
It did look kind of like Homer's astrolabe or something.
Yeah.
The internet seems to think it was the Furlings that terrified.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. I mean,
why?
Was there an educated guess, or was it like everybody just wants to meet the Furlings? Let's just talk about the Furlings.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the F word.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just the fill in.
Yeah. Yeah, like much like this episode.
fillings.
What's a filler episode?
Yeah, I do like that that map painting we get of the Stargate. Like after they fix everything on the planet, you get like that wide angle shot of a very obvious map painting with the Stargate. I thought that was a cool look. It was very kind of reminded me of the game Myst. It's got that vibe from that planet.
Or the Star Trek planet Angel 1, that map painting that gets recycled for like, I think it's been 8 different planets now.
Oh yeah.
If you just like look it up on like one of the like Memory Alpha or something, Angel 1, I think it's called, and it's a map painting that's been used like in just about every Star Trek series.
Nice. They need to throw that in Discovery just as an homage. But yeah, I like Teal'c's interactions with Maybourne in this.
Yeah,
in
those
my
were quite
culture,
good.
I would be able to dismember you.
Yeah,
that was good.
And Maybourne's reaction too. He's like, "That's interesting." It's just like,
well, I love it too. Then so Teal'c walks past him and turns around and stands right behind him. Right. And so Maybourne turns around, and all he's got is a wall of Teal'c.
Yeah,
of course, Teal'c is he's still looking very stern. As soon as Maybourne goes around him and walks away, he just smirks.
Yeah. I like that. I like how Teal'c is coming out of his shell.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really meshing with the group. But yeah, and we get did anyone else feel like everyone was just moving kind of like just slow in this episode? Like I just got this, I feel like all the shots and like even when the action scenes, I feel like everyone was kind of moseying along and no one was really like hurrying up. Like the whole episode just felt kind of like, all right.
Like they stretched it out to fill the 40 minutes.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Well, they said they had 48 hours, right, until the planet would be irreparably harmed. But yet there was no, well, let's go, let's do it. It was just like, yada, yada. Well, let me go see my friend. And then let's go get to this place to get on the plane to do this. I don't know.
Yeah, we got to fly to Arizona and then go back up to Utah and
back up to Colorado. Then General Hammond has to presumably fly to Washington, D.C., or his friend has to fly from wherever his friend is in Washington, D.C. to General Hammond. And it's just like, ticking clock here. And at one point, I mean, I had to rewatch this thing, and when they're in the the control room, and Jack walks up, and I'm like, is that like Dan Shea, his body double, just like in there because even Richard Dean Anderson like bugged out of this, and then they cut to a different angle, and I'm wondering, I still don't know like if they just like substituted him in because, as you mentioned, I think his daughter was born or something, and he was taking some time off, but maybe it was him. But it is just kind of one of those episodes. But seeing the second gate again is cool.
Oh, we had another
like
Stargate baby born during this episode. Michael Shanks and his girlfriend, who plays Sharae, she had a baby while this episode was filming.
Nice.
Yep.
I guess everyone was probably just distracted while they were filming it. They just wanted to knock it out.
Yeah.
I also thought it was odd that when they arrive at Area 51, we get like this 3-minute long scene where they're outside talking to the guards, but I think they forgot to turn on like the lights because it's just like everyone is completely like in shadow, and it's not like
backlit
done dramatically. It's just like bad looking.
Well, you know what's worse about it? They're standing outside in the shadow, and what do you see in the background? Trees.
Yep.
What don't exist at Area 51 in Nevada? Trees.
Trees. Yeah.
Aliens too, but trees.
Maybe
the trees are the aliens.
Yeah. They're ents. But yeah, no, I didn't even catch that. But yeah, I mean, that just the way that they're all, and like, is this supposed to signify it's cloak and dagger? But yeah, it's just like they just didn't turn on the lights, or if they'd moved like 10 feet over, they would be in the daylight, and that would have worked out.
Maybe it was an artistic choice, right?
Sure.
Man. That person who did it was definitely not an artist then.
Yeah, and my note I noted that, and then I know that Area 51 is simultaneously both cool and disappointing because it looks like, they're filming like in an office building or a high school, but there's some cool things like you see the death glider in the laboratory and stuff, but the rest of Area 51 just looks like a high school chemistry classroom or something.
I guess I was just hoping for like the Area 51 from Independence Day, but I guess Roland Emmerich could not afford to loan that set up off to them.
Or it was probably mad that they're successful with it and he wasn't. So forget you.
Although we do see a much cooler Area 51, and I think it's like an alternate timeline in Stargate Atlantis. We see where Rodney has his lab at Area 51, and it's the size of like the Grand Cavern inside this building where he's doing like huge quantum experiments and stuff. And so that's very cool. But this Area 51 is probably much closer to the actual Area 51 and how kind of just dull it looked.
Yeah, I can't. I've never been there, so I can't talk about it. But I have a feeling it's a typical Air Force base,
Probably.
which is pretty boring.
With aliens, though.
With aliens, absolutely no aliens. I mean, there are absolutely no aliens there.
The aliens got cancer from all the lead paint and everything that was used to build those old government buildings.
Yeah, I do love the reaction of those. I can guarantee you there are no aliens in Area 51 as Teal'c's standing there.
Yeah.
Until now.
Present company excluded. Yeah.
And I think I read, now that you just mentioned that just sparked something. I think I read that they had to put that line in because the Air Force made them. It was like one of their like conditions of, getting the Air Force support is that they said, okay, if you're going to go to Area 51, you have to like specify that there are no aliens there. And so the writers put that line in and then put in present company accepted as kind of like a little nod to, the fact that they had to put that line in.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool.
It's odd that they would stipulate something like that.
Yeah,
because of course that's a condition with the aliens. You can't say that the aliens actually exist.
Otherwise,
Oh wait, did I say that? No, there's no aliens in the area. No.
We don't want them to be overrun by Naruto runners or whatever whatever that was going to be.
Oh man, the storm Area 51.
Yeah.
Yes. Good pre-COVID times.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
It feels like a lifetime ago.
It really does.
It does.
I like so one of the stipulations that they get from General Hammond when they end up going to where the actual Stargate is that they cannot shoot anybody. And so they follow that, except Jack somehow is the greatest shot ever with a machine gun, where he can fire a gun right at someone and hit all around them, but not hit them. I like
or just wound them right in the arm or something. Yeah.
Why didn't they just zap them?
Yeah.
And that was the question I had. Why didn't they take Zat guns? And Teal'c had one.
Yeah.
And he never fired it.
He's holding it and he's like, I'm going to see where Jack's going with this. Instead of like firing off like dozens of rounds.
But then the guys wouldn't have gotten away and we wouldn't have other episodes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah.
And of course, Daniel gets to the DHD just as the lights turn off. It just doesn't happen to see it. It's just of course.
Now, if it's lit up, but you can't tell what order they were pushed in, right?
Correct.
Do they not have call history?
Well, they do in Atlantis. Rodney can figure out kind of when he needs to, like the last 10 addresses dialed by a gate by looking at the crystals, but they just haven't figured that out yet.
No.
Yeah.
So how many permutations would that be if you had that?
6. Yeah. A bunch.
Yeah.
39 times 38 times 6, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, a lot.
I always like seeing the Stargate when it's engaged, but it's horizontal rather than stood up.
Yep.
It's always fun to see. So when you jump through it and it's like that and you come out through a gate that's standing up, is it kind of like in Monsters, Inc. when they go through the door and it's down and then they get in the house and then you just slam on the ground?
They'll come out feet first. Yeah, they'll come out feet first, laying flat. Yep.
Just land on the ground.
But I suppose if you're trying to get away from the good guys shooting at you, you don't care what way you come out of the gate, just so you come out of the gate alive.
True. And nothing will ever be as bad as seeing that sludge come out of the gate in the Prisoners episode.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hungry.
Yes. But I always like seeing Maybourne. He's a lot of fun. And I like how General Hammond had more to do.
Yeah, he had a super secret friend.
Yeah.
Number of them, apparently. Yeah, that's one character that it's too bad they didn't find another way to use him somehow as kind of the X-Files type character.
Mm-hmm.
The smoking man from X-Files.
Yeah, they bring Major Reynolds back. I mean, both he and Whitlow were on Smallville. It's a lot of overlap with Stargate there. And also the actor who plays Whitlow was also on Mantis, that Sam Raimi show about the paraplegic superhero
Hmm.
who
Interesting.
builds an exosuit to fight crime.
Nice.
Did anyone else
Speak-
find Reynolds just, I don't know the word,
Nah.
smarmy, like, I don't know, snake oil salesman kind? I mean, he just irked me.
Yeah, I think we're
Yeah.
not supposed to be sure of his loyalties at this point.
But he's really happy about everything SG1 has brought them.
He was so
Yeah.
chill
Yeah.
and so willing to just talk about everything out in the open.
Yeah, he seemed seems like he's got something else going on, and he's just trying to win them over.
Mm.
But who knows? Yeah, I did. I do want to see. I would like to know how much Maybourne was in on everything that was going on because of him feigning that he did not know that it was the fake gate, which I thought was. I liked how they mentioned specifically that it's plastic. That was good.
And he did a really good job faking.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so shocked. Oh my gosh, my job is on the line. And then how do you know?
And that's what I wonder how much of that was fake and how much of that was like, wait a second, this wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah. Because they don't really answer any of that. They leave it all hanging, which I assume we'll pick up later on when they continue this plot. But I do feel like this is one of those kind of stories that would have benefited from being sprinkled like throughout several episodes as like a B plot rather than condensing it all into one episode with like they kind of tie it up neatly at the end where you get all these. It's kind of like how in Star Trek someone will commit like just like blatantly disregard any orders, but at the end they kind of have to tie everything up so it all gets resolved. Whereas I feel like this is that kind of thing where there would be repercussions for the SG1 team for basically going against their own government like that.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the problem with when this was written is those kind of thoughts weren't really a part of serial TV or weekly TV. That's later that we start to see that. Although, yeah, I mean, it would have been kind of interesting if as a plot, you'd have SG1 going to different planets. And, we had something over here and now it's gone. And we saw some people that look like you come and get it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a big deal. We weren't using it, but still, something like that, it was just things were disappearing. And it was obvious that someone from Earth were the ones taking it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. We get kind of that the next time we see, the NID team, and some of them have to, live with the consequences of the stuff they've taken, or not live with the consequences of some of the stuff they've taken off the alien worlds and stuff. So, but yeah, if you want multi-episode arcs involving the NID just running around a town for 42 minutes, like that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can do those.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's all in the execution, but it is nice to see kind of taking a break from the typical Planet of the Week kind of episode where the Planet of the Week here really doesn't matter at all.
Mm-hmm. Give it shifted.
So, yeah.
So like we talked about, I can't remember what episode, we talked about this way in the first season, that the secondary bad guy, you have the Gould, but then the secondary bad guy on Stargate tends to be NID or government agency,
Yep.
And so this is kind of that start of that payoff that we're going to really start seeing them again.
Nice. Yeah, I do enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Did y'all have any other thoughts on this episode?
Well, we were introduced to a very important technical term, doohickeys.
Oh, yes.
The doohickeys connect to the whatchamacallits and the WYSIWYGs. So very important technical details. I got a kick where Sam's checking the logs of the dialer and, the primary log has been deleted. Let's go to the secondary log. Well, they want to remember the third log, even though it says right on the screen, check third log.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, hello.
And it's super fast.
I mean,
none of it is offsite.
Yeah. And that's, or not even off the main storage, like, on a tape, so I had to laugh about, as a computer guy, I had to laugh about that. It's like, if I had a third copy of the log, it would have been on a tape in a vault.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it would not have been, just hit yes to continue the search on the next level.
If it was that easy, they would have deleted all three of them.
Yeah. It's like you are deleting the primary log. Do you want to delete the secondary log? Yes. Do you want to delete the tertiary log? Yes.
Yes.
The actual log entries I thought looked kind of cool. The actual log screen itself was
Yeah.
It's kind of neat looking, but
yeah, that was going to go. It's just, I had to laugh about that though. Again, having worked, backups on computers and stuff, it's just like, you've got to be kidding me. and then as they're at the NID airport, which happens to be some like local airport, of course, in Vancouver area. Yeah. I love the stock footage of the C5 totally not landing anywhere near something that looks like Vancouver.
where the runway presumably would have just like shredded or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Or it just would have been too small, period.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
I was going to see. What about you, Lisa?
Two things. One, they did a good job of calling back to Solitude's, even Bane, which was just a couple episodes ago.
Mm-hmm.
There was a third episode they referenced, but it was nice to kind of see that continuity coming through and remembering what happened. And then second, something that's coming up is the whole DHD attached to the Stargate. So in this episode, Carter jumps through a lot of hoops to try to match up the energy signatures, and that they had to overpower the gate to bounce to the secondary gate, overpower the wormhole, to bounce the secondary gate. But we learn later on that if a DHD is connected to a Stargate, it becomes the primary gate automatically. But in this episode, that doesn't happen yet. So
sure.
They had the DHD in was it a box van or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Connected to the Stargate, but if that is always connected, then there's no way SG or the Cheyenne Mountain was able to run their program.
So
that's just,
which I mean that you can feed that in. They were just they just connected in, dialed, did the thing, got out, disconnected. Yeah.
And then they didn't discuss how they timed it so perfectly, which meant they have someone in the SGC who shouldn't be there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but they do.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Nice. What about you, Victor?
Not on this, but I wanted to mention that, as I mentioned before, our son and I, actually all three of our sons, have been helping me create a Stargate game for the original Game Boy. And as of now, that game is up and playable for free. If you go to lams, lams.itch.io, lams.itch.io, you can play that game. It's a whimsical, fun Stargate adventure based loosely on the first season of Stargate and our podcast here. So a little New Year's,
including F-name quest. Or if you get that done.
Yeah. Yes, there are the F words in it, the furlings, but otherwise the language is family appropriate. So
nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Makes me want to get a original Game Boy and then get one of those like emulator adapter cards.
Oh yeah.
Try it out that way.
The carts where you can load the images on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a Game Boy Advance, one of the SP, one of the foldable ones that still plays the original cart. So I'm going to have to do that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, those are really good. Those and the Game Boy Micros, Advanced Micros are I think the like my favorite two pieces of Nintendo hardware of that generation for sure.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome. I'll make sure to put a link in the show notes for that.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Cool. Do y'all have anything else?
Oh, I also forgot to mention, we must remain vigilant lest those who trespass before come back to violate the sanctity of the holy Touchstone. Which is, I was not channeling Alex Jones there. That was actually a line from this episode.
Yeah.
Sure.
We must remain vigilant lest those who trespass before come back to violate the sanctity of the holy Touchstone.
It sounded like the way you said Touchstone said touch tone.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Yeah. Touchstone. That would have been a much better episode if it was just like this like old phone handset. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Before we go, we'd like to take a moment to thank our patrons who make it possible for us to create the Secrets of Stargate, including Ed K, Kathleen M, Andrew M, Alaska, Tom, and Pat F. Their generous donations at sqpn.com/give make it possible for us to continue the Secrets of Stargate and all the shows at StarQuest. You can join them by visiting sqpn.com/give. Be sure to follow the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or on the SQPN YouTube channel. To find previous episodes of Secrets of Stargate and to send feedback, please visit sqpn.com/Stargate. You can email us at stargate@sqpn.com or follow StarQuest on social media at facebook.com/StarQuestMedia or on Twitter at SQPN. You can also join the StarQuest fan club mailing list by texting StarQuest to 66866. Send StarQuest to 66866. And we'll be back next time when we'll be discussing the next episode of SG-1, A Matter of Time. Until then, Father Cory, thank you for joining me and sharing the secrets of Stargate.
Thank you, Jack.
And Lisa Jones, thank you as well.
Thanks, Jack.
And Victor Lambs, thank you too.
Thanks, Jack. Really looking forward to next week. And maybe somebody can tell me the punishment for losing a Stargate.
It's not a good one.
No.
And once again, I'm Jack Barazzini. Thank you for listening to The Secrets of Stargate on StarQuest.
Anyway, I'm sorry, but that just happens to be how I feel about it. What do you think?
Hi, everyone. This is Dom Bettinelli, CEO of StarQuest, with a special message as we approach the Christmas season. This past year, the StarQuest network has continued to expand our mission of exploring the intersection of faith and pop culture through our many entertaining and informative programs. Now we need your generous financial support to reach new audiences with more of the life-changing and uplifting programming we've been creating for more than a decade. That's why it's very important that we hear from you this Advent and Christmas, the time when nonprofits receive most of their support for the year. If you are already a supporter of StarQuest, we thank you and ask you to prayerfully consider increasing your support at this time. If you're not yet a supporter, please become one now. Every gift counts. Could you give $15 or even just $10 per month? Whatever level of support you can offer, please show your support for SQPN this Christmas. And remember that your gifts may be tax deductible. Just go to sqpn.com/give. That's sqpn.com/give. May God bless you this Advent, and may you have a blessed Christmas season.